Ready. Welcome everyone. My name is Manish Shah and I'm the Midwest Chapter Lead for Holistic Science Charitable Research Foundation. In my day job, I'm the Senior Director of R&D and Innovation at the Lake Forest Graduate School of Management. Today's topic is how to use holistic science aphorisms to live a happy and harmonious life. The talk will be conducted in a question and answer format. Let me introduce today's holistic science expert, Shailesh Anandji. Dr. Shailesh Mehta, or we call him Dr. Shailesh Anandji, is a practicing ophthalmologist who owns a hospital in Vadodara, India. From his childhood, he was curious about the deeper truths of life. He came in touch with self-realized holistic science Sri M. Patel, and through his gaze, Dr. Mehta attained self-realization in 1977. Dr. Mehta is a celibate and deeply experienced in the field of holistic inner science. He devotes his time to studying, researching, and spreading the message of holistic inner science. In his quest to spread the message of holistic science, he has traveled to countries such as USA, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. His speeches on holistic science have been well received at the national and international conferences. He's the author of several books, which include Introduction to Holistic Science and Integral Living, and The Science of Liberation. Welcome, Shailesh Anandji.
Greetings to all of you.
So last month we introduced holistic science and talked about its benefits. Shailesh Anandji, you brought to our attention that if we have the right understanding, we can make our lives happy and harmonious. You mentioned certain aphorisms that can be adopted for rich inner living. Let us get a deeper understanding of these aphorisms. So here's the first question for you, Shailesh Anandji. Can you please explain how holistic vision, just everywhere, can help us in our day-to-day living? And if you could please explain this in context of our daily roles as spouses, parents, and children.
Oh, sure. So the holistic science aims at, as you rightly said, happy, harmonious daily living. We start our applications with day-to-day events and day-to-day living. Now today, if we try to observe at our home, at our workplace, or wherever we are getting into interaction with other human beings in whatsoever capacity, it may be as a spouse, it may be as parent, it may be as a customer, it may be as a service provider, there can be one of the two scenarios. Either there can be a happy, harmonious, cordial, loving, sharing, caring dealings with win-win situation, or there can be stress, disadjustments, distrust, and sufferings at both ends. So what is the basic issue today? And if we try to understand it and analyze it, we readily understand that today it is difficult for us to adjust with other people, to get aligned at the level of heart with other people, whether it is our spouse, partner, our children, or at our workplace or other colleagues. Why so? And whenever there is disadjustment, what happens? We do live together, we do try to work together, but our hearts are not happy, our energies are not aligned, or they are not harmoniously working, and inside and outside we do not get the optimum environment as well as the optimum energy use and outcome. Not only that, but if the amount of disadjustment is little more severe, we do feel stress, we do feel mental problems, and sometimes resulting even into the bodily problems, because it is well proven today even by the modern science that each thing, positive or negative, at the level of mind doesn't remain there, it does affect the body too. Having said that, why can't I adjust with my wife, my children, my colleagues? Because the personalities are different. My personality, my views, my vision, my habits are different than my wife, my children, and my colleagues. Somebody is a personality, a talkative personality, let's say. He likes to talk more, and he feels happy when somebody else is also talking in a similar fashion. But somebody else is introverted and likes to talk very less or only when it is required. So there is a mismatch of personality. We have noticed that the mismatch is to the tune that in USA itself, if you observe, one of the person, means one of the partner, likes to have the air conditioner set at 19 degrees and the another has to wear the blanket. So to say that nature has brought different personalities together, even at home, is it? It sounds true, right? At
Yes.
most of the places. So what to do? So here the holistic science says that one who has mastered the art of adjusting with all different personalities under all different situations will not only be happy in this world but will also sail to the liberation. Now let's see and examine how can we adjust and what are the benefits and what does adjustment really mean. Adjustment is, as I understand, as I go to a garden. Initially, used to love only palms because it gives me miles and miles of blueberry or strawberry or almond palms. But I found that, oh, gardens are still more beautiful, even though all the different varieties are put together. One is pink rose, one is jasmine, one another is orchid, one is blueberry and strawberry. And if we learn from the garden, even though each plant and each tree is a different one, none of them complain to the other that why are you not like me? And we also enjoy, and we never go to rose and ask for a mango, or we never go to a mango tree and ask for a beautiful flower like a rose. Have we ever complained that why have you got a thorn to a rose plant? And even if we complain, it would be measure of our own wisdom or so-called intellect. So having realized that if I apply this vision, my own home, where three, four, five members are there, is a complete is an association where each personality is different, but each one having its own positivity in the form of skills or abilities or virtues. And if I can see from this vision, I do not have to make any effort to adjust. It becomes automatic, natural. It is a result of my correct vision that, oh, somebody is good at outdoor work, somebody is good at indoor work, somebody is good at managing accounts, somebody is good at keeping good relations and whatnot. So holistic science says that each human being is a different tree or a different plant in a garden of the grand scheme of Mother Nature. Find out what one knows, what are the fruits and flowers or positivities of each human being, and try to make use of it rather than complaining what one doesn't know or what one is not good at. A good manager is one who knows the abilities of all the co-workers and can make the best use of it without complaining rather than happily and harmoniously. So
Mhm.
adjust everywhere is a vision which applies not only in my outward or interconnected living, but it applies within me also. Because at the level of my heart, my mind, my intellect asks me, why so? Why he's not behaving as I want him or her to behave like that? Why he is not accepting my views? And there this vision comes to my help that, oh, each one is a different personality. Let me understand that personality, and it would be a beautiful garden like scenario. So it gives me the resolving answer within myself. Adjustment is one where my mind will not have complaint. I will not have grudges. I will not feel compulsion from within that, oh, I had to adjust. So at that time, this holistic inner science vision also gives me the inner reconciliating answer or reconciliating vision where both my inside and outside are harmoniously behaving with other people or other situations. I hope this answers your question. And obviously, if you look from the scientific front, this will create a situation where my inside energy is optimally or best utilized. My outside environment and aura and vibrations are also much harmonious, positive, and aligned. And the people would love to be with me, people would love to work for me rather than the present corporate scenario where you have to take a whip and make them to work for you. They would lovingly work for you, they would love to be with you.
Yep. And so this is an excellent understanding of that aphorism. How can we incorporate this understanding in our children? Because, okay, we are mature adults and maybe we can be much more willing to adjust to the other flowers in our gardens, so to say. But how can we make our children and kids understand that, this is the best way to approach life?
the best way to make anyone understand in the world, be children or be colleagues or be anybody else, is first to understand, we understand ourselves in a best way. Then our dealings, our behavior, our speech, our thoughts, our actions, our very existential state of being will be so explanatory and will be so self-speaking that we'll not have to speak by our mouth that please understand this. That itself will make them realize, oh, daddy is so much understanding in all given situations. Even though I'm contradicting, daddy is making amicable way out, and daddy is explaining me also scientifically. So that itself will have a great impact. Holistic scientists said one another simple aphorism: it is all madness whatever we speak in terms of teaching wisdom. It is all our behavior which is going to be teaching, or which is going to sort of living example for others. And I think that's the crux of the story. But having said that, we can always be openly discussing with our children or our colleagues that, okay, look, I understand it this way, that if I disadjust, I will be at a loss and everybody will be at a loss. But if when I apply this vision, I am at a benefit, everybody is at a benefit. How do you find it scientifically? So I have realized, moving across the world and getting into interaction with so many people, that especially the present young generation will not like us, will not like anybody saying them do this and don't do this, but they will have questions: why, what, how, when. So if we can explain them scientifically, I think our job is done well.
Yep, very well said. So it's just like what Gandhiji said, my life is my message. You don't have to
Yes.
say a lot, but if you conduct yourself in a certain way, then you're already sending that message out to your kids or your colleagues or people around you. And the second aphorism is then avoid clashes. If you can please shed light on that.
Oh, sure. Before going to that second aphorism, if you allow me a minute or two, I will
Sure.
like to add something more to this. That in all interconnected livings, see, correct me if I'm wrong, I have moved across in the Western society a lot, and there the living is I-centered most of the times.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the I-centered and living in own shells, even husband wife feel far apart from each other, even though living in under the same roof. And that itself leads to loneliness at so many events. And I heard this so many times that we have everything, we have more than required, but somehow we feel lonely. We are seeking for love. We don't find true love in our life. And this is where the holistic science has to give the most pertinent message, that the best way of living is to learn how to live interconnected living. Parasparanu jivanam, Lord Mahavir, 2600 years back, and I would say every visionary gave this vision that it is the interconnected Parasparanu jivanam. We are with each other, and we can be happy only when we learn how to live with each other. So one way we said that the friendliness, and the most another important secret is, what is love? When I'm seeking love from everybody, every human is frustrated that I'm not getting true love. Rather, start loving the people unconditionally. Start loving every living being unconditionally, because there is some pure self. And no sooner I start loving the people unconditionally, my heart will always be full. I will never be lonely, even though there may or may not be immediate reciprocation. So it is, if this secret is learned by me, that for my own self-interest, for my own sake, let me start loving the people unconditionally. Let me try to be friendly with them. Let me try to be helping to them, irrespective of whether they are doing to me, I think. And what is love after all? Love is one which is free of conditions and expectations. Have you ever found a single event or a single instance, be it a husband, wife, or be it anybody except mother, children, that you really find some tinge of love where there is no condition and no expectation?
No.
So when I understood this vision, it taught me, it helped me a lot, that wherever I go, there is no stranger for me, because it is me only. And once I start becoming friendly, when I start becoming loving to them, I am always full of love. My heart is always full of friendliness. So this message of interconnected living, I think if it goes across the world will be a different world. And especially in the Western world, where the way of living is a solitary living or I-centered living, if it becomes we-centered living with this vision, I think it would be much, much beyond adjustment. It would be world as me only, world as one family, world as one unit. Having said that, let me move to your question now, that avoid clashes. So what is a clash? Different people have defined and tried to explain it differently, psychologists, behavioral therapists, physiologists. But in nutshell, we understand very well that whenever my inner self, my inner environment, my mind or my intellect is not getting aligned, is not happily accepting anything within or without, the clash starts. Whether it is an individual, whether it's a situation, whether it's a viewpoint, whether it's a way of working, whether it's whatever it is. So, and also once I start looking within and start looking as a neutral observer, I understand that with clashes, first it affects me. I lose my harmony, I lose my energy level, it goes down, my mood goes down, my optimum functioning level is not there. And if it extends more, there can be psychosomatic diseases too. So once I decide to avoid clash, my inner wisdom light, you can term it by any means. Somebody says your inner pure self, somebody says inner God sitting, residing within you. But simply putting it, my inner wisdom light will show me the way out, how to resolve this situation amicably and with equanimity. The people often ask me, by avoiding clashes, do you suggest us to always let go, always to leave
Yes.
out the things, always to suffer, always to endure? No, never, ever. Because if you try to let go, if you try to endure, if you try to suffer, it will be for a while. Next time, it will be like a press spring, it will throw away everything. So it is not enduring or suffering, it is resolving the situation with correct understanding. Here the holistic science comes with another beautiful concept of common sense. There are all the measures, the means to measure IQ. I don't know whether there is a means to measure EQ, and the science always tries to measure everything. So what is the measure of common sense? And if we are asked, I said, oh, I have 105 out of 100 because I knew that the IQ can be 105, so common sense can also be more than 100 or more than optimal. But then when I was given the understanding what is common sense. Oh, what is common sense? Common sense is that understanding which is applicable theoretically as well as practically in all different scenarios or situations or dealings, which can make your way out without heart or mind breaking apart. And then I realized that I had a very low level of common sense. But yes, no sooner I decide to avoid clashes, my common sense will start building up, my inner understanding and resulting into inner positivity and harmony will go on going high. So I have to decide that I want to avoid clash and resolve the situation amicably with equanimity, whomsoever or with whatsoever situation I am coming into. And there automatically nature is great, universe has everything. Why to look outside? My inside is infinite treasure of knowing power, seeing power, understanding, common sense. No sooner I press the click on in the particular mode, the energy and understanding will start working that way. So avoid clash and adjust everywhere, go hand in hand in our daily living.
So I have a follow-up question, Shailesh Anandji.
Sure, sure.
How do we provide feedback at work? You are in a professional setting. You know, you have your peers, you have people reporting to you, and sometimes you have to offer some feedback, constructive feedback, you know, things that are not going well, things that need to improve. So what is the best way to accomplish that?
Okay. First and foremost, while giving feedback, while interacting, while expressing myself, I look within myself. With what intent I'm doing that? Am I doing that with intent of letting other people down? Am I doing, am I trying to catch hold of them by finding some small fault? Or am I sharing them with all love and friendliness so that they can also come up? They can also be better person. If I have positive and correct intents, believe me, my way of speaking, my way of expressing may not matter that much, or it automatically will become correct if my intentions are correct, if
Mm.
my inner heart is correct. But most of the times we are trying to find some opportunity where we can pull somebody's leg, where we can put somebody down. So
Right.
once first I will look within myself. See, the holistic science is all secret, that it is all working within us first, and then outside dealings are the results of our inner working. Unless I am aware about the things going within myself, unless I have the visions which can correct my inner self, believe me, all my efforts and so-called management seminars to work out will not yield the correct results. Having said that, now suppose I have to tell my colleagues or staff or somebody, I will just first understand with what motive they had done that, where they have gone wrong or where it was, and then not at that moment, but when sitting silently over a cup of tea or a cup of coffee with all the friendly environment, I will share with them that okay, I share with my associate surgeon, I share with my staff, or you can share with your colleagues that okay, in this situation, the things went like this. I think that even I am learning and I'm trying to find out what can be a better way out. And probably if we could have done this way, do you think that it would have given better results for all of us? So taking on myself, not pinpointing that you did that, and analyzing the situation scientifically and positively and neutrally and correctly, I think everybody is understanding. It is the difficulty when we are pointing at somebody that you did this and you did that, that the
Right.
ego gets hurt. And management and getting the best out of anybody, even a bull or even a cow, is you know the art how to handle his ego or her ego positively in a very good way. If you don't know that, if you are aimed at hurting the ego, all your wisdom is going to go in vain. So
Yep. Wonderfully said. I think you mentioned a very important point about checking your intention. If your intention is pure, then your mind, speech, and body will reflect your intention, and the other person will not get hurt or will not get their ego hurt by what you are trying to provide in terms of feedback. So with that, Shailesh, we have our first question from the audience.
Good evening,
can I add a half a
Doctor.
line into that previous thing which was going on, Manish bhai? Half a line?
Pardon me?
Yeah. Can I add one or two lines into our discussion which was
Absolutely. Yeah.
how to convey to colleagues? I
Yeah.
have found with myself that whenever I have to express some of this situation, I become more humble, I become more friendly, I become more loving, putting a hand on his or her shoulder, trying to express my real good heart and love. Then I come out with a discussion of the situation. So I think if this is learned, in a normal situation, I may not be that friendly and that loving to them.
Mm-hmm.
But in such situation, I become extra friendly, extra loving to them. And I think that buffers the situation. Okay, now we can go ahead with the
Yep.
question.
Great.
Okay, good evening, Dr. Shailesh Anandji. These are two great euphemisms you have given us. And this is Rajnikant Patel from Bethlehem, but presently in India. I'm a retired and also book writer. I think I'm a happy person. I'm retired. I've enjoyed life. And I try to reform or give my experience to people so with the intended reform. But now you told me something which is puzzling to me. You said I need to have a vision and I need to, you talked about ego. I was not aware of my positive, negative ego, but the key thing is, you know, vision, ego, and how these two aphorisms I can build in to make myself more happier and happier.
Okay, so you talked about two things, that reformation and ego part. So the holistic science says that should I try to improve others? No, I should try to improve myself. I should try to have inner reformations within me, and that will automatically speak for itself without even ever saying. The people around will feel it. There is another very good way. Should I teach? No, I should touch the heart. Rather than teaching the people, I should try to touch the heart of the people, and the way will work much differently. Now we come to ego. Ego is identity. It is my existential state of being. I'm Shailesh. Is my I, is my identity, is my ego. Then I'm doctor. I'm an eye surgeon. I'm a senior one. I'm father of somebody. I'm brother of somebody. I'm manager of this company. Fine. But very state of existence I am is there with every living being, pertinently with human beings, except that one who is self-realized and has the absolute experience. Leave it aside. We are all having our I-ness or ego, and it's fine. But how to use this ego as a tool? It can be used positively, it can be used negatively. What do I mean positively? Positively means trying to help others, trying to make one and all happy, loving, sharing, caring, happy, harmonious living. And when I say others, when I really look within me, before making others happy, I am becoming happy first. Before helping others, my own self is being helped first. Before obliging others, my own self is being obliged. So actually, to say there is no other in the world, I'm doing it for myself because it affects me first. But still, positive ego means making one and all happy, helping, obliging, positively appreciating somebody's virtues, trying to find out what are the qualities and appreciating and encouraging those qualities. As against that, what is the negative use of ego? Criticizing, trying to find the faults, trying to find something by which we can command over them, by which they can be under our powers, and so sort of things. So whatever power one has got, even we have the queen of kitchen, our partner. So whatever power we are having, the power as husband, so to say, not may not be, but so to say, or we are having power as a manager. And if we try to use that power to supersede over the others, to criticize, to command, to control others, I think it's a negative use of ego, where first our inside is not happy, and then even the outer environment may not be happy. A manager may feel that everybody is obeying me, but then employs the secret spies. Please try to find out who is not obeying me. Why this fear? Why this distrust? Because he himself is not trusting himself. There is no trust within that whether this will work or not. So positive use of ego, negative use of ego. And if I connect it with the happiness, it is very simple. If you want to remain happy, harmonious, and progress upwards, use your egoism positively. If you love sufferings, sorrows, negativities, try to use your ego negatively. If you want mix, use it mix way. And if you want to have permanent happiness, seek the way or seek the light by which you can get rid of this ego. When one knows the pure self, that core of my being is pure self, this my I-ness, I am Shailesh, I am name bearer, I am doctor, is my tool to live in interconnected or a relative world. But if I look beyond that, I have the core of being. See, even the physicists are trying to find what is at the core most neutrino, God particles, or much more beyond that. Similarly, a living being, and we as human has the core of being, which is the purest of pure self. If I know it by its attributes and existential state and its scientific existence and function, I will get rid of this existential relative ego, and I will be on my way to permanent happiness. So three simple sentences. If you like happiness, use your ego positively. If you like unhappiness, use your ego negatively. If you like mixed, use it mixed way. If you want to have a permanent happiness with total inner freedom, get rid of ego by knowing your pure self.
Oh, thank you very much. This is a very good information that I can carry on. Just Manish, a follow-up question. Uh, Sailashananji, uh, how give us your secret how you've been able to use or make these two affirmations a part of your life.
As I said at the outset, holistic inner science or the holistic scientist never asks you do this or don't do that, but it opens out science so simply, so easily, that once I started looking within me, observing my what is happening within me positively and negatively, and trying to apply this aphorism at one or other time. It is something like I'm conducting the experiment. And you all know that whenever we are doing something or we are conducting the experiment, if we do not get desirable result, we try to find out, okay, what's the correct fundamental, what can be the better or correct method. And once we click in, and once it starts working, both the things get verified that, okay, this understanding or fundamental is correct, and it's giving me this result. So over the period of time from 77, today is the 2015, it's almost 37, 38 years journey. So many events happen in the life, testing, challenging, adverse, not liked by us, liked by us, and the inner questions may arise. But always this observation and awareness within, and these aphorisms one or other way, trying to apply them within, and then finding that, oh, this relieves me, it gives me the better results, it gives me the better experience, it is the better way of going about, and this is how it has been working for me. And with that ever increasing inner happiness, ever increasing inner lightness, ever increasing inner way, this is positively multiplying. I'll give you a very short story. There was a conference of almost 10,000 cardiologists held at Hyderabad, India, a month back. And you would be surprised to know that the guest of honor to give the first speech was invited a spiritual speaker, and she started asking these cardiologists that you all know, and it has been proven by research that the stress is the biggest factor for all heart diseases. So everybody said yes, yes, yes. And then the next question was, how many of you are feeling stress and how many of you are feeling free of stress? You can imagine what would have been the answer. There was not a single finger which was raised that I'm stress free. Everybody was having stress. This is a paradoxical situation. As cardiologist, well aware that stress is leading to so many things and not being himself or herself free of stress. And then she gave the another view that whenever you have felt stress, have you ever paused, thought, and asked yourself that could there have been another way of dealing with this situation? Holistic science gives here the answer. Could there have been a correct way of dealing with this situation? So all these simple short aphorisms are trying to give us correct ways of dealing with the situation within and without. And with that ever ongoing experiment within, it has become a part and parcel of life as my breathing is, which I love it. And I'm not teaching you or I'm not understanding that I'm giving you something. Even at this moment, I'm learning something because my inside opens out in some different way. So this is another secret of universe, that whenever you are trying to teach or share some with somebody, you are the first beneficiary. Leave aside other may or may not be benefited that way.
Thank,
So that is
thank
how
you
it
very
has
much.
become.
Thank you very much. Two takeaway from here: the two euphemism, and then to use ego positively to give happiness to others. Thank you very much.
Let's go to our next question.
Hello, Sri Sachidanand, Dr. Saila Shananji. My name is Shayla. I'm from Los Angeles and have been involved with holistic science for some time. And I really enjoyed the wonderful in-depth discussion on adjust everywhere and avoid clashes. One of aspect of your conversation and discussion that really particularly touched me was the one about the mind-body connection. Do you have any particular suggestions with regards to how our energy chakras can be perhaps utilized to help us align our mind and our body? There's many people who do engage in yoga and meditation. And can you suggest some practical ways to incorporate that in order to bring more harmony to the mind and the body?
Okay, very good question. She's asking about mind-body connections. She's asking about energy chakras, means how to channelize that energy to bring in harmony. And here, I'll quickly go through that even the modern science has been focusing on many researches, and one of the research which is going on is they have found out that during stress, during conflicts, during clashes, so many hormones, especially adrenaline, steroids, they are being released by the body, which affects all the parts of the body negatively, all endocrine glands and other organs. And if you employ the ways wherein you can get the more stress relief or pacifying ways, it positively affects. So having said that, let me move little inside. We have three levels of living. One is the gross body level, where all the modern medical world is studying, even at the cellular level. Then we have the subtle energy body level, which we term as aura body. The yogas term as various chakras or centers of energy. And today they can be photographed. There has been various technologies, and you can Google and see that while in different situations, when I am in a mode where my mind and heart is trying to help somebody, oblige somebody, my aura and energy body will be differently affected. When I'm trying to hate somebody, when I'm trying to take revenge with somebody, when I'm trying to, mode that I'll show him or her, my energy and aura bodies are differently affected. And still at the core of that is my inner understanding, correct, incorrect, and my conscience. Having said that, now the world is approaching it two ways, from out to in or from in to out. What do I mean from out to in? You go to yoga classes, you perform some exercises, you try to relax your muscles, and you feel that you have some relaxing effect on your mind. Yes, it is partially true. But suppose you have done 45 minutes yoga, and now after 1 hour you are at the office or you are at the desk of your motel, and somebody behaves with you in some way which you don't like. What will happen? You will be in a fire. All the benefit of yoga is lost. Whatever energy you had accumulated in 45 minutes is lost within a couple of minutes, because you don't know how to handle, with what understanding now to handle that situation.
Right.
So this is one way, going from out to in. Second is people focus on breathing or pranayams. There is some relation with breath and mind. So pranayam or breathing, rhythmical breathing exercise do give some quietening experience of mind. But is that all? Again, the same story. You have done pranayam, you are fine. That harmony may be there with you for half an hour or more. But no sooner you are into a situation, you are stuck in a traffic and somebody is cutting you wrongly, and all the pranayams benefit may go away, because you don't know how to react or respond or how to take that situation, with what understanding. So here we need much more. So holistic inner science handles it from within. Our mind always seeks guiding light. Our mind always seeks guiding answer. Why? Why this to me? Why he or she did that? What I should be doing? So holistic inner science goes from within to out. It works at the core of the level. It makes you correct with correct understanding. It makes you harmonious from within. And once your inner core is harmonious, your mind will remain harmonious. Your body will remain harmonious. Your energy chakras will remain harmonious. So I would say that energy chakras are definitely there, but there is much more beyond energy chakras which is affecting the energy chakras. Your hate, what is in your self-interest, to love someone or to hate someone, to forgive someone or to take revenge with someone. That is what is at the core. And even we go more subtler than that: anger, greed, pride, deceit, attachment, and aversion.
Mm-hmm.
These are the inner cores which are having the secondary effects on energy chakras. Energy chakras are the tools to drive the outer body, but who drives us from within?
Mm.
It is much more our beliefs, our opinions, our correct or incorrect understanding, anger, greed, pride, deceit, and ultimately, who am I?
Right.
So, yes, it is true that the world can use the ways, and if I plan my day, my model day, at what time I will get up, what time I will allocate to my yoga or pranayam or my exercises or some inner spiritual reading or whatever, which gives me food for my inner self,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll go to my daily living. Again, before my going to my daily living, if I have some guiding light that let my mind, body, speech not hurt any living being, let my mind, body, speech not hurt
Mm-hmm.
anyone's ego. There are 9 guiding principles given by holistic science for daily living. I'm not touching that at the moment,
Right.
but then I have something which guides me through my day, and at the night before going to bed, I just reconciliates my day where it could have been better, where it went wrong. But holistic science gives you the core of understandings, and that functions from within, and that will make automatically all the energy chakras or energy levels
Mm-hmm.
harmonious. So there are 2 ways: from out to in and from in to out. And I enjoy this. That even who, sorry, even for the yoga, whatever, there are so many shops in USA, and there is a lot of business and thousands and millions of dollars
Mm-hmm.
being made by so-called yoga gurus.
Right.
But what is yoga? Yoga is not only physical exercise. Yoga is balance of mind in a given situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yoga is balance of your inner self, samatvam yogam. And yoga ultimately teaches you to join with your pure self.
Mm-hmm.
Conveniently, these inner themes are sidelined because the people don't know how to provide them.
Okay. So on that note, you've given us some in-depth understanding of how meditation and yoga function within our bodies and how they can align our minds and our bodies. However, how can we utilize holistic science to help us to incorporate the adjust everywhere and avoid clashes, which we do understand and we want to incorporate into our daily lives. So is there a chance that incorporating adjust everywhere and avoid clashes into our meditations will help us to achieve better results? So you're saying
Sure.
it's not necessary to give up your meditation or to give up your yoga, but to allow it to be more focused, with more focused intention.
Sure. Now, you asked about meditation. So, going with the traditional concept of meditation, I'm moving ahead at the moment. And then, if the time permits, I can go to the exact concept of meditation. But going with the traditional, I'm sitting with my closed eyes, devoting some time and trying to meditate. Now, you are very right. Let's suppose today I have said for whatever time I have, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I can focus. Okay, let me see where I am not able to adjust with different people, starting with my home,
Mm-hmm.
or how can I adjust? And at that time, my inner observation light, my inner knowing and seeing light. See, the best meditation is sit with yourself, neutrally know and see what is going on within yourself is the biggest and the best meditation in the world, let me tell you.
Okay.
Now we are adding one more dimension, that let me see where am I able to adjust, where am I not able to adjust.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, when I go ahead, initially I will say that, oh, my mind and intellect is seeing the faults with others. And
Mm-hmm.
no sooner it is seeing the faults with others, I cannot adjust. Now the holistic science will take me inside. Is there only their fault, or can there be my fault? And gradually I will realize that okay, there is a scope of improvement within myself. If
Right.
I improve at this point, adjustment will become normal and natural for me. So you can take any particular thing. You can take avoid clashes and put in your meditation, knowing and seeing, neutral observation, what leads you to clashes, how, and automatically there will be answer, no, this is not the correct understanding, this would have been the correct understanding,
Wonderful.
which will avoid the clash.
Excellent.
So yes, your point is a very good point. Make your meditation a meaningful meditation rather than trying to focus on some point and some point of light which is you are finding very hard. Put your whole living, your daily living, your actual living into your meditation with some this sort of guiding light, and you will find a fantastic, awesome results.
Thank you very much. That was wonderful.
Okay, let's move on to our next question from the audience.
Good evening, Dr. Mehta. Been really enjoying your holistic viewpoints and examples you've offered tonight. In fact, I was giggling a little earlier because I have my blanket here and we have to adjust, and I think that's even true in California. This is Punita from Tustin, California. I'm a graphic designer, which leads me to my situation at work sometimes. You kind of mentioned slowing down and taking the time to talk to a colleague in a pleasant environment. Unfortunately, in our work currently, we're moving 100 miles an hour. And majority of the time I say it's pretty pleasant, it's balanced, everybody gets along. But every so often, because everybody's moving at lightning speed, you feel like you pinch somebody's ego, or you realize after the fact, like, oh, why did that come out? You didn't even have time to process it. Sometimes, you know, you're like hurting somebody. Is there something you can offer as far as buzzwords or something you can do internally to focus on what was said or what's pinching you inside? Because you can sometimes clearly see that wasn't necessary, but it's always after the fact.
Yeah, you have brought out a very real situation that even before we can understand or think or look within, the reaction comes up and we may have to regret for this reaction. I understand that point. Now, it's a multifactorial thing, but trying to put it very concisely, the reaction comes at the level of our personality. Whatever my personality is, my personality may be outspoken and I may react, or my personality may be such that even if I want to reiterate, the words will not come out, I'll have the reaction inside me only. So first I try to understand my personality, what it is, whenever the time permits me. Trying to understand my own personality, next my focus goes onto the personality of the other people whom I am dealing with, and that way gradually my awareness and understanding becomes more. But since you are asking for some buzzword, and America is the country of I don't know buzzword and buzz gazettes, which I am not very familiar or good
Or
at.
any kind of phrase, some kind of a mantra of the day, just to put you back inside again, refocus.
I understood. I'm just making the lighter moments of it, because life should not be that heavy.
No.
So one thing is, win your own home. World need not be conquered. And when I say win your own home, one home is my inner happenings, mind, body, speech level. Then my family or my colleagues at workplace is my own home. So when I try to win the home, means win the hearts of the people, and my whole approach develops accordingly. Now, about the lightning speed you said, it gives me a very good one example comes to my mind. Suppose you are flying, the jet flies at the speed of maybe 900 plus miles an hour. Are you also running in your seat at 900 miles, or you are sitting quietly and looking at something and enjoying something? Are the two things
But
different?
sometimes you feel like you're running with the plane as well.
But that's not the correct thing.
No, it's not. It's not.
So to say, try to learn that the outside happenings, the chain of events going at whatever pace, is a part of natural scheme which is going, but you're within, you inside can be well stable in your chair, means within yourself, and you can quietly look at, and even though the pilot may be sitting quietly in a so fast flying jet, so that art, that how can I be within myself stable at that time, has to be evolved gradually. But I think that the simplest thing, that reaction may come, but reaction is the result of my past understandings or past beliefs or past opinions which has been ingrained in my personality. And the holistic science very pertinently says that you may not be able to change your present behavior immediately. What changes is your present understanding. And once your present understanding changes, your inner environment changes, your inner opinions changes, the behavior will be changed in due course of time naturally. So don't try to force yourself to change the behavior very soon, or don't get frustrated if the behavior or reaction doesn't change soon, but try to apply the understanding as soon as it comes, and that will rectify the situation. That's what I can think at the moment for your question. I'm sorry that I have not been able to give you one sentence for your question, but this is what I could.
No, no, I think you nailed it on the spot. It's my personality too. I move quickly, and the coworkers move at a slower pace, so it's like a constant struggle trying to keep it flowing. So I just gotta take the
I
pace,
would say
I
not
think.
slowing or not making it fast. It is making it normal. Above normal is also not good, below normal is also not good. Come to normal. And while coming to normal, the holistic science has said another very beautiful concept. Suppose a CEO of a company, a very high position person, his revolutions of mind, means thinking speed, comprehension speed, maybe 5,000 revolutions per minute. Now there is a clerk, or there is a lower grade person who has a 500 revolutions per minute. Now the CEO or a manager such gives the information, and he expects the fellow to get finished with the work within few minutes. Now after a few minutes, when the another fellow is asked, sir, I could not understand, and that fellow get frustrated. So you have to put the counter pulley, that what are the revolutions, what is the thinking speed, what is the comprehension speed of the other fellow to whom you are dealing. Then only you will be a good person. Otherwise, in a machine, one pulley is working at 5,000 revolutions and another at 500. One of the pulley will break down.
The good advice. I need to put the holistic lens on before I go to work every morning. Keep you in mind. Thank
I,
you.
I would say that whenever it bugs us, whenever it bites us, whenever we are in some bad experience, just try to think where we went wrong, and holistic science will come to your rescue. Otherwise, allow your day to flow normally. But whenever at the moment you find that, oh, something has bugged me, something has bothered me, something has bite me, or other, and this will come to your rescue. And such
Thank
moments
you.
may be few. And over a period of time, you will evolve in such a way these moments become fewer and fewer, and your awareness before that event starts.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we have time for one last question from the audience.
Hi. Dr. Kailash, thank you very much. Great discussion. My name is Ami Desai. I'm from Houston, Texas, and I'm an inpatient pharmacy supervisor. And one of the points that you made, particularly about management, has really struck a chord with me. I find at work sometimes my boss seeks my opinion for something, and even though my opinion is not agreeing with my boss, I want to know how to best convey the opinion without, my boss feeling that I'm clashing with her. So how would you propose that I do so in the workplace?
Sure. So as I said, it goes in all interactive dealings, whether it is exchange of opinions. Here you say you are being asked the opinion. So I will feel, I'll apply myself that I'm also sitting in my boss. Boss is not different from me. And I'll tell my inner self, my heart, that okay, to best of my honesty and integrity, let me first try to work out within me. Sometimes we are also very hasty and our inside is not clear that what is what. So I will try to take some time. See, it may not be necessary to give same moment the answer. You can say, okay, do I have some time? I will work on it, think over properly, and come back to you as soon as possible. And most of the times, it gives the best situation because we are also having time to see within ourselves. And once I'm satisfied that okay, to whatever best understanding and ability I have, this is what I can come up. Then I will, with most humility. See, the humility, humbleness is one thing where the ego do not come in between and we are sharing with friendliness. So with most humility, I'll say that, sir, I thought over the situation the best I can from these different angles, and looking at these different angles and the aspects and the results thereof, I feel that this may be the option one for me. Of course, in a relative situation, there cannot be any absolute option. With this perspective, I think this can be option one. With this perspective, this can be option one or two. And this is how I have been able to look at the situation. And I'll be happy to hear from you if there is any further thing. So having realized that once I should be clear within myself if the time permits. Second thing, with most humility, I'll express myself and truthful. It never means that this is it. No, this is it cannot be there in this relative world. This very attitude, this is it, kills everybody. Once you are on to this is it, neither you will progress and neither other person will. So there cannot be this is it. It's a relative world. Discuss the perspectives, discuss whatever you best you have been able to, and be ready to listen to what the other's vision is also there on the, because it's an ongoing process. The other person may also has an ongoing vision and will be able to come out with some more light or some more ideas. So I think this is the way to go in a whole relative world of things, and never, no adamancy, no insistency. Insistence and adamance is the one which kills us. There can be all types of exchanges, but if it is with humility, without insistence and without adamancy, people say with open heart and open mind, I think there should not be any issue anywhere. In fact, boss will also forget that I am off at the moment, and you will also forget that I am subordinate at that moment. You both are human beings dealing with combining light of two, and here the light of two will make four, not one and one two, but it will be four, hence getting something very excellent out of the situation.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. I think that is the key. That was a really good point to make, and I definitely will be taking that with me. And also to not be taking my opinion. That's definitely something nice. Thank you.
Okay, so I think we are getting to the end of our talk. Thank you everybody for attending. Additional information, including Dr. Shailesh Anandji's book, Science of Liberation, can be found on our website. Our website is hscrf.org. Again, it's hscrf.org. So again, we covered a variety of topics today. We talked about the 2 key aphorisms, avoid clashes and adjust everywhere. We talked about the mind-body connection. We also talked about positive and negative ego and how we can use the power of positive ego to be happy. We also talk about the true meaning of meditation and how we can make our meditation really meaningful. And then we touched on what is normal, what is above normal, below normal, and what is holistic science prescription on being normal and being able to conduct our life really with an even keel. So our next talk will be on Sunday, March 29th at 8 p.m. Central Time. The topic for our next talk will be our mind. What is the mind? How is it formed? Can it be controlled through meditative practices? what is the best way to deal with it. So we'll cover a lot of aspects of mind. And Saileshanji, if you have any last comments to conclude this talk, please go ahead.
Well, if I have to put it in a very short way, holistic inner science visions will help you every moment, within and without, so that you can get best out of life. You can get best out of that moment in terms of happiness, harmony, positivity, your inner freedom, and meaning to that moment, meaning to that life, moment to moment. It is a way of living. It is a way of conducting our own life experiment in a best possible way. Thank you very much.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you, Sailesh Anandji, for shedding light on holistic science again. And we'll see you next month. And good night, everyone.